Southeast on the track.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Welcome back. It is a beautiful, lovely evening. It's 9:43 in the great state of Texas. The great state of Texas. The great hot state of Texas. Non-coincidentally, it's also red. You can join the Bub Club today. If you're interested in getting 25% off serum, you can join the Bub Club now at gotserum.com. It's a monthly package. We will receive one box a month, and the amount will be enough for you to be covered for that entire month, ideally. Now, it might not make it the entire month because it's good stuff, but you can head over to gotserum.com now if you want to join the Bub Club. 25% off of Got Serum today. Right there. This is right here. Got some special packages going out today. We're talking about Nick Cannon, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure it's a like on the way in. It's good to see y'all. How's everybody doing today? How was y'all's day? We have in the building with us right now, I Come in Peace. Why do we have to talk about it now? Just because the newest one is a black woman. Now accountability has to play a role. That's crazy. Black women are so hated. It's crazy. I Come in Peace. I wasn't even trying to talk and point out specifically that I was black women accountability. Believe it or not, when I made this stream, I didn't know that all of his baby mothers were not black. I didn't know that at all. I didn't know that until an hour before the stream. So literally my entire pitch has just changed. I have notes right here that I was reading over and then I read through and I was like, wait, oh shit. All right. So I wasn't even trying to just have it as a black woman in this instance case accountability. I wasn't trying to have it because, all of a sudden now Nick Cannon's latest woman is black. I mean, I think a lot of people are talking about that, right? I mean, right? That's what a lot of people are talking about. Now, we're going to get to the show notes. We're going to have everything that I was talking about. Hi, Diana. It's good to see you, my dear. Diana Prince is in the building. Hybrid is in the building as well. Hybrid says, should we be concerned if black women are now a part of this nonsense? I think that's an interesting take. There, Hybrid. Diana Prince in the building. We have Batty Gal in the building moderating. Thanks to all the mods in the building. Leave a hand clap emoji for the mods in the building. 17 people watching. It's 9:46 p.m. Let's go ahead and dive into this. We have some news articles, but we're going to go ahead and get right into it. And the 17 people already watching. No need to talk about this. Juju thinks all these baby mothers, and now they decide to talk about it. Juju, I had no intention, I promise you, to talk about it tonight. I really didn't, y'all. I really didn't. All right? I really didn't. I was talking about it. Juju says she was talking about it when he got all them pregnant damn near the same time. Juju, I'm not sure if you have a channel, but if you do, drop your channel links and I'll make sure to drop it in there. It doesn't matter the race of the woman, Anonymous65 said. This whole situation, thank you, Anonymous65, is outrageous. Anonymous65 wins the hand clap of the day. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Anonymous65, I got to go ahead and give it to you. That's what we needed to hear today. Do you want to hear the news going into it or not? The news is actually pretty damn interesting. Do we care about the news? Or should we just go ahead and get right into Nick Cannon? We have some national days today. Would you like to come up to the panel right now? Let me know. Well, we have to wait for a couple minutes because I got to get my spiel out. National days today. We'll just do a couple of them. All right. It is, drum roll please, ladies and gentlemen, National Guacamole Day. It's also Butterscotch Cinnamon Pie Day, Costa Rica Independence Day, El Salvador Independence Day, Felt Hat Day, and Get Ready Day. That's all we're going to do today. All right. I hope you got something from those national holidays. I don't know if you heard about this. I'm going to go ahead and drop this, though. The Little Mermaid recently redid. How do you feel about redone movies, first and foremost? Well, it looks like Disney is gearing up for its live action remake of the 1989 film, The Little Mermaid, and a lot of people are upset. Looks like we are not quite past racism as much as, well, not even as much racism. I'm not quite sure what to call it. Maybe it's justified. In it, actor and singer Halle Bailey, Jesus Christ, how do we say her name? Halle Bailey. Halle Bailey. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so used to Halle Berry. Plays Ariel, the mermaid who dreams of losing her fins to one day walk on land. However, it appears that an awful Disney record has been made since the trailer was dropped, and some fans seem to be upset with the fact that Ariel is a black woman. Little Mermaid trailer sets an awful Disney record with nearly 1 million dislikes. The caption actually under this says. So, pretty interesting story right here. You can check that out for yourself if you want to see a little bit more of that. We're gonna go on. I thought this was a pretty funny video. Y'all get a kick out of this. There was a bride and groom, and I didn't know, but on a day where you're supposed to like reveal what's going on with your bride or whatnot, or it's like a reveal day. I have no idea. It was the dude's homie, and so it was a pretty funny video. I can get the sound for you, but really it's just laughing and things of that nature. So I thought y'all would get a kick out of that. I saw the video. I could share it with y'all really quickly. Actually, I might as well. I'll share it with y'all. And then we'll get into Nick Cannon. Jesus, let me put a disclaimer right here. I don't mean to upset anybody with what I'm going to say. All right. But we have to talk about it, y'all. We can't keep skating these things under the rug now. Here we go.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Somebody in the comments said homie was about to cry a river. All right, that's enough for the news today. Okie dokie. Back to the canon. All right. So, as you already know, here we are now. All right. Here we are. Nick has been doing his thing for a good while. What we're going to go ahead and do right now is cover some of the basics. Okay. Thank you so much to my show co-host for the amazing notes. All right. On June 23rd. Hold on, let me make sure I have the right page. Is this right? Okay, page 1. Thank you. Oh, she even numbered the pages. Let me tell you something. On June 23rd, 2021, Nick Cannon became a father of 7. So we're kind of jumping in a little late here, but it's okay. Nick Cannon fathered 2 children with his ex-wife, Mariah Carey. At this particular time, Nick Cannon procreated with 5 other women. Fast forward, it is now reported that Nick Cannon now has 9 children in 2022. I'd like to go ahead and make a stop and a pause here. We honestly don't know how many children he has. Juju says that he took love pictures and happy pictures with all 9 of them. Batty Gal says he is so gross. Clover Tech said, at some point, can we get over what race and actors play in films? It is their job to be someone else. At the end of the day, it is a fiction, people. Clover Tech in the building. One of my favorite YouTubers in the building, showing up and showing out. Thank you, Clover Tech. I completely agree with you. Talking about the Little Mermaid situation there. I completely agree. And with that situation, I think it's kind of interesting because I think that on both sides, people are kind of, a little, whatever it might be. Like for me, I don't think it would be a problem for me if Ariel was white, right? And I don't necessarily even feel like, being completely honest, yeah, that, that's a really tough one. for me, it was nothing to where I felt like it had to be changed. But of course, it's not going to bother me if they change it. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I stand. And I feel like everybody could be able to stand or should be able to stand in that position as well. Because let's be honest, like the people watching Little Mermaid, it's probably not us at this point, you know. So, Glover Tech, I completely agree with you. I think there's faults on both sides there. All right, back to the canon here. In previous interviews, Nick Cannon stated that he hated the idea of marriage and that he feels restricted. Well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we got that. We got that right now. As well as a lot of other different videos that we're going to be watching tonight. And it has something to do with a concept that was told a long time ago by somebody that hates my channel right now called the Golden Dusty Syndrome. When a man who comes from a certain community is able to elevate himself to a certain level, finally kind of breaks through and just ultimately reveals how he's truly felt or how he feels at that particular moment in time. But it's a common occurrence. So take a listen to this.
Earlier this year, Cannon made headlines after celebrating the birth of twins and an additional baby later that same month. Since December of 2020, Cannon has fathered 4 children, which has drawn criticism from many online. Today, we have our comedy hype analysts, Capone and Pierre, calling in and we're asking, do you agree with Nick Cannon's thoughts on marriage? But
1 second.
You know, impregnate you, but if you don't want to have the kid, you don't have.
Hold on. I thought this is the video where he actually explained it himself. I'm going to stop this one. Let me get the Breakfast Club video where he actually explained it. But I'm probably going to keep this one too. All right. So there's so many videos. There's a video called "Any Girl Who Has My Baby or I'm Dating Never Has to Work." I kid you not. There's a video called "Any Girl That Has My Baby or I'm Dating Never Has to Work." That's serious right there. Well, I mean, hey, that's a pretty sheesh. What are Nick Cannon's pockets like, dude? That's crazy. Okay. So this dude's crazy right here. Okay, let me just go ahead and share this interview real quick. Yeah, this is bad, dude. This is really bad. And the problem is everybody kind of laughs about it, but I'm going to show you something in a concept, okay? I'm going to show you a concept of something. And the reason why I really want to talk about this, you know, it's going to hit hard a little bit later, but we got to slide easy into it. We can't go too hard, too quick and hot and heavy. And then we'll get to the point of why I'm calling this black degeneracy in this case.
If you thought the numbers I put up in 2021 was
wait till you see what happens in 2022.
You know, there's a lot of kids last year.
Oh my God. Okay, so what happened with this whole therapy, this celibacy?
So you were right there. Okay, I'm glad I get to talk about this. So obviously, I did, my therapist when I started my show and stuff had told me I needed to chill out. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yo, let's try celibacy.
Right.
And that was like October.
Like January.
No, I didn't even make it to. I was supposed to go. That was the whole thing. I was supposed to make it to the top of the year, but then obviously I would start going through some stuff with, you know, just I got depressed like with the loss of my son and stuff. So in December, and the thing is, because everybody saw I was so down, so everybody's like, "I'm just give him a little vagina." And that's
I know what makes him feel better.
And that's what, and I fell victim to it because I was in a weak state. So December, especially right before Christmas, I started like crazy, and that's when it like I broke the celibacy, but I was probably celibate for probably like a month and a half strong. I mean, you were there. I was trying to do it. I had a new show, new energy. I was dealing with a lot.
I was there, like I was every day, like. So what you doing? So October 20.
All right, I'm gonna stop this one here. I'm listening to another video right now, just to try and find this. I don't know if I'm gonna find the interview where there was him and Charlamagne talking on this, but he pretty much said this. All right. He told Charlamagne that the reason he doesn't believe in the institution of marriage is because the institution of marriage was used to try and like hold women against their will, and even kind of referred to it in a slave type of way, right? To where it was like enslaving for women in a certain light somehow. And so that was one of his bigger excuses, because Charlamagne had asked him like, okay, well, why do you keep having so many kids, yo? And that was his reasoning for it. Right? It was like, well, you know, it's kind of a slave thing. This is not, we weren't as black people getting married, whatever it might be. I can support them financially, right? So I don't necessarily have to, and I'm still typing this on here. 1 second ago. This is bad podcasting here. A breakfast. All right. In his mind, dang, I cannot watch this whole thing. So they have it, but it's like 1.5 hours long. I don't know where it would be. Anyways, he justifies it by pretty much saying that I have enough resources to take care of the children. Right? Now, I'm going to say this. It doesn't explain this one. I remember hearing and I was just kind of looking to see, and this is where I kind of, just labeled the Black degeneracy aspect of it. I was trying to find comparisons of this. And so we obviously found Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk, if you don't know, has 6 children, I believe. Something along those lines. He has a good amount. He has 6 children, I believe, with 3 baby mothers. And so the story of Elon Musk is that Elon Musk had put on his Twitter one day. The story of why Elon and Nick Cannon are connected is because he had put on his Twitter one day that he's doing his best to help the underpopulation crisis. A collapsing birth rate is the biggest danger civilization faces thus far. That's what Elon Musk said. In which case, later on in that conversation, Cannon wrote back, we did our best to help out as well. We have 4 beautiful children. And Cannon actually wrote back in a tweet something, a little witty, saying like, I'm doing my best too, or something like that, right? That he's doing his best too. Nick Cannon currently right now, from what I understand, is suffering from a disease. And I don't know that much about the disease, but I know that it could be potentially life-threatening, or it is life-threatening for him, which could be one of the reasons why he's going so ridiculously wild with his offspring and why this is so ridiculously irresponsible. But the greatest comparison that I could find between 2 uber rich men, or 2 men that were, at least, in our standards, very rich, was Nick Cannon and Elon Musk, who culturally might have broken a bit out of the norm, or I guess within the norm, in one culture or the other. Take that how you will. But still, the difference is, at this period of time, a difference of 6 baby mothers between them. So I went and just did a little bit more judicious and gracious digging. And I looked up further and I said, well, okay, let's just look up anybody who's had like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 kids. And then I found this story, and I don't know if y'all remember the Duggars. Y'all remember the Duggars? Well, News Radio WTAM wrote this article today or yesterday, I believe. Baby maker Michelle Duggar celebrates 56th birthday today. Now, if you don't remember the Duggars, or if you're not familiar with them, they were actually the family that was full of 19 children, I believe, right? Let's see. Let's just verify this. This is a picture of the Duggars. It was such a large family, as a matter of fact, that they had their own reality TV show. That's the entire family right there. Now, Nick Cannon might not be at the Duggars level just quite yet. I think personally he is. And he just doesn't talk about it as much. There's no telling truly how many babies Nick Cannon does have. But why did I bring the Duggars in? Well, this is once again the biggest family that I could find in a public light or image possible. But unfortunately, for the comparison in this case, the Duggars are they still married? In the show, married, right? For all I know now, they're probably divorced. Let me check it though, just to make sure. I heard something like they might be divorced. But they raised an entire family under one roof. Okay, we'll go back to this image because I know that not all of us believe in marriage anymore. I get that the marriage thing doesn't have to work and everything like that. They raised the entire family in one roof, though, under one household, right? Now, granted, this was with one woman. So this is another aspect where I think is extremely, extremely different. This is one woman who I believe bore 19 children. So uh, we can say whatever it might be, but the distinguishing factor in both of these cases is the same, which is that one man has an extraordinary, or one person or family has an extraordinary group or amount of children. However, both stories are completely radically different and highlighted for completely radically different ways. If we're speaking straight black and white, the biggest families we've ever seen on television completely contrast. Now, Nick Cannon's family is not out in the front light. They're not out in the spotlight or anything like that. We really don't even know everything going on with it, right? We just kind of come in late and things of that nature. But I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here because the latest baby mother, this is the 9th baby mother, was just announced today. Twitter is in a frenzy right now. YouTube is in a frenzy right now. And people are in a frenzy right now because of the announcement of the realization of the race of the woman. Once again, I did not make this video with the knowledge of the race of the woman that had been. I simply saw the picture of the woman and I said, oh, wow, this is his 9th baby mother. Now, why I decided to call it accountability is because obviously we know that I'm not gonna. I'll be quite frank and honest with you here, y'all. All right. In our culture, let's just, you know what, before I say that, because it might hit a little hard. Before I say that, let me go ahead. Organic Black in the building, best mod in the world. Let's go ahead and watch this video. Twitter reacts to Nick Cannon. All right, Nick Cannon and Lanisha Cole having his 9th child because she's dark skinned. Okay.
Man, Nick Cannon, he welcomes the 9th child. I'm like, only 9? I thought it was 12 by now, but he worked on the 9th child. He said, introducing Onyx, ice cold Cannon.
No, we're not about to watch that.
Cannon, why he don't have any full black baby mamas. This nigga basically said, say less, and got a black woman pregnant just to prove a point. LOL, shaking my head sick.
All right. That is a really good point. That's crazy. That's crazy, though. I mean, I didn't know that people had been asking or, you know, really putting it out there that Nick Cannon didn't have any black baby mamas or anything like that. I just didn't know the situation with Nick Cannon at all. So forgive me for being partially ignorant, right? Forgive me for being partially ignorant. Well, we got a comment earlier from Hybrid. Shout out to Hybrid. And I if we're talking about the race thing, or if the race thing was kind of being such a big forefront for the Nick Cannon discussion and situation, then I think that the race does have some importance here, in my opinion, as well, to be quite frank and honest with you. But at the same token, I mean, it's obvious that other races have no problem with it as well in this case, right? So I just hope that Nick really didn't just go out and, you know, go for the sake of impregnating a certain, you know, race of woman because people said that he didn't like that race. Because if that's the case, I mean, let's be honest with you, like 9, you had 8 other women who didn't look like you before you. You know what I mean? And I'm not even trying to be all like that, but I don't know. You know, I don't know. She looks happy. You know, she looks really happy. Let's go ahead and give some more facts while we talk about Nick Cannon. All right. He considers monogamy a Eurocentric concept. That's what we were kind of talking about a second ago. He considers monogamy a Eurocentric concept. What does that mean? Eurocentric, Euro, white, European, Eurocentric, European white based, Eurocentric, centralized, based, location, white based idea. So he considers monogamy. What else is monogamous when we talk about relationships? Well, if we talk about monogamy for the entirety of your life, that would be marriage. Now, a lot of black men actually feel this exact same way, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of black men feel that marriage is a white institution. I kid you not. I've talked to a few. They've come onto the panel and they've explained it themselves. That's some of the black manosphere, particularly the more radical ones, who do believe that monogamy is more of a. And now, if we just look at black culture, if we just look at, I'll be honest, the amount of non-wed women. We need to start popularizing a different term. Baby mama is just ratchet. You know, it's like horrible. It just has such a bad, just whatever to it at this point. But if we observe, and I know once again, y'all, that not everybody wants to be married and all that other different types of stuff. But if we just look at the amount of what we have in our community as non-wed or non-Eurocentric monogamous households, it's pretty easy to see that there are a lot of people who might feel the same way, even if they don't come out and just say, well, I don't. It's not that I think that marriage is only a white concept, but the actions might say and speak a bit differently. What is it exactly? We've heard that it's the government kicking men out of the house in the 70s. We've heard that it's everything from the courts and the child support system at this point in time to the selection of women at this point in time. Well, the government's shutting down the beaches all around for the passport, bro. So now you're going to have to figure out the idea. Nick Cannon, unfortunately, is rich. So he has the ability to copulate with certain people who have no problem with copulating because the idea of the attraction of not ever having to work again, right? Nick Cannon, though, has lupus. We talked about that, an autoimmune disease. In Nick Cannon's case, he has lupus nephritis. Lupus nephritis. This type of lupus is kidney related and is considered one of the most serious types of lupus. But, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Cannon says the beauty of fatherhood, man. The beauty of fatherhood. Now, I don't know, and I'm not going to speculate to be a doctor if this is something that can be passed on genetically, but we do know that recently Nick Cannon did lose a child, a baby boy that I believe was 2 months old, with a woman named Zen, if I'm not mistaken, or was the child's name Zen? I'm sorry if I got that wrong, and no disrespect. Rest in peace to the little one. Was this a possibility of having something to do with? I know that childbirth can be such a strenuous, crazy thing, so I'm not going to attribute it to that. I do have questions, though. Nick Cannon is at peace, and he loves his children so much that he passed the probability of them to have lupus or an autoimmune disease, and for them to feel the constant echo of a broken home, however, if the condition of lupus is able to be passed down. So let me just go ahead and break this down. I mean, this is crazy. If lupus is genetically passed down, somebody in the chat who's in medical school or who's a nurse, let me know, or who has Google and who can use it right now. If lupus is able to be passed down, then how crazy is it to know that you have lupus and actually give it to, or have the possibility of giving something that could be detrimental to your own children? How crazy would that be? That would be absolutely wild. However, I'm not going to base that on a race issue. In this case, I'm not going to base that on a race issue. I'm only spacing the race issue off of the fact that as the largest families that we've seen so far come in the continental U.S., it's been the Cannons on the black side and it's been the Duggars on the white side. And it's not looking good. All right. Not here to try and hold black women accountable because one got pregnant by Nick Cannon. That wasn't my intention at first. When asked about the number of children, Nick always had vague or empty answers. For example, Nick told People magazine that he had these children to show his other two children that others aren't his favorite. That was his reasoning. I believe that was the child that passed, y'all, right here. I believe this was the child that passed, if I could get to it, Jesus. Right here. And that's the woman that he had the child. Is she not black? Obviously she, she's not chocolate skin, but she looks black phenotypical. He had 2 children because he didn't want the other 2 children to feel like they aren't as fortunate. I don't. In the notes here. I don't even know what that means, but it's wild. Now let's go ahead and find some, if we can, video footage here. What say ye? Video footage. What say you? I open up the panel as well. If you want to hop on the panel, talk to me. Or if you just want to ask me a question, then you can hop on the panel if you'd like to. White. Okay. Helen Wortham says white. Thank you, Helen Wortham. Join the panel. There you go. Let's listen to an interview. Well, let's see. I'm actually going to see what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and be an absolute YouTube pro here. All right. I'm going to try to be like a mega YouTube pro and try and fast forward. All right. So we're going to listen to a clip real quick. This is by Simply Shelkey, and she doesn't have that many subscribers at all. So we're going to definitely make sure we can get her a couple of subscribers. I'm not sure if she's still doing YouTube. A lot of the times, man, it's so damn hard to just keep going. But this is Simply Shelkey's video. Shelkey is spelled SHELLCEY. You can subscribe to her. We're going to check out Nick explaining his health crisis right now and some things that kind of go on there.
So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
When you experience near-death situations, life-threatening situations, it's honest, it's real. I feel like, I'm running out of time. When every time I think I'm doing good, then I got to go back to the fucking hospital. And it's
Do you
like,
fear death?
I almost died this time, the blood clots and shit. I don't fear it. I welcome it. I got to a space now where it's like, it's probably going to happen. I'm probably going to die sooner than most people. And because that's what the doctor said. But I'm living life like,
no, what did the doctor say?
I might die in the morning, so let's fuck all night.
Chelsea.
Like the doctor literally said to me, I don't understand how you're still alive.
Wait a second. He said, let's F all morning because we might not be alive. Let's F all night because we might not be alive in the morning. What in the hell? She's biracial. Thank you. Well, excuse my French. Organic Black Chelsea. That makes so much sense. Diana Prince says, I thought he had all children because he didn't know how much longer. Diana Prince, you just hit it on the head. And right on time, Diana Prince. We're going to go ahead and rewind that. We have Hybrid in the building. Hybrid, you can speak whenever you'd like to as we listen to this. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Truth. Hi, everybody.
Hello. What did you have something you want to say right now, or did you want to just wait?
Yeah, I'll just wait.
Okay. All right. Let's rewind this, shall we? That's pretty telling there.
The doctors are wrong, and now you're a 90-year-old man with a.
It's probably gonna happen. I'm probably gonna die sooner than most people, and because that's what the doctor said. But I'm living life like,
no, what did the
Now, this is why this Nick Cannon thing is so disturbing. This is why this is crazy. All right. Outside of the black and white comparison of the largest families we've seen in and out of Hollywood, the black being the Nick Cannon, the white being Douglas, outside of the fact that you could be potentially passing down a genetic deficiency or disease to your children. I don't know what lupus is, but it sounds bad. The fact of you... The ultimate fact is you could potentially die leaving your children without a father. So you're creating little girls, little boys with multiple families who are now going to be exposed and put into a world, all right, where you're not going to be there anymore, but yet you continue to have children. For what reason exactly? Simply because you have money. Money is, and I'm gonna get back to the Nick Cannon in 1 second, but money is... let's get back to Nick Cannon because that might kind of be a bit much. Let's listen to this.
I might die in the morning, so let's fuck all night. Like the doctor literally said to me, I don't understand how you're still alive.
Oh.
Like you have you have 2 blood clots in your lung and 1 in your heart, like that. Like,
so Nick Cannon's supposed to be dead any time now. This is crazy, yo. we're getting ready to literally lose Nick Cannon right now, which is insane.
But
Like-
Nick, what if the doctors are wrong and now you're a 90-year-old man with 100 kids? 'Cause you lived your
That's
life.
fucking amazing. Then I'm like Job from the Bible.
Dude, you said, wait, I was supposed to die in my 40s, and now I got 100 kids. I'm bankrupt.
Now, the black male baby daddy stereotype is not something that I have to try and tell y'all or
I gotta
joke
go back
with
to the
y'all
fucking
or whatever it might be. We all know that we could sit here 24/7 and joke about dad going to the store and never coming back home, dad getting tired in the black community, whatever it might be. We've joked about it. People have joked about it. Other races have joked about it for years. And now in the forefront to display, we have a man who has a lot of money, but is fulfilling essentially the prophecy of the black male, dusty, non-home, non-family oriented, completely out of his mind, absent father. But for the simple fact that he has money, he's able to be led on the Howard Stern show. He's able to popularize and have these conversations with people. He's able to almost normalize it because he can financially take care of the children when he's not here anymore because he's getting ready to die. Any day, it seems like Nick Cannon's going to be gone at this point. We don't know. Now, Howard Stern joked about him potentially being 90. What do you want to say, Hybrid?
Yeah, I wanted to say, he said something that was really crazy, like, because he was like, he'll be like Job. Job actually lost all his kids at first. I think Job had 7 kids or something like that, and they all died. And then later on, he was blessed with more children. So it's like this dude, like that. It was just like really weird for him to mention something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think that, and we're gonna kind of go in a bit deeper into this for 1 second. I'm gonna watch an interview, and he has so many interviews, but I'm gonna watch another interview that he has really quickly here. Once again, thank you to Chelsea for that video. I forget her name. Simply Chelsea. Thank you, Simply Chelsea for that video. Jeez, that's tough. Give me 1 second. Okay, I have to take that down because it's kind of tough. All right, so the fact that he could die any day now bears and plays no bearing on whatever it might be. What we've seen, and I'm gonna kind of, where am I now? There we go. Now, Nick Cannon's mindset, I'll be quite frank and honest with you, is the mindset that we see in a lot of the player types, the ladies' men, the F boys, the good-looking guys in the black community. I'll be frank and honest with you. I'll be honest with you, okay? I'll be honest with you. There is some that's a good point. There is some truth. For instance, I'll be honest, all right? And let me tell y'all a story. Let me just give you a personal experience, okay? A personal experience. I'll be honest. This is going to be a little red pill moment for the show. Let's get real. Let's get real for a second, okay? Back in, well, somewhat, let's just say I know a guy, okay? I know a guy, and for research purposes, what he does is not whatever, right? He's of a certain type of, I don't even know this guy. I don't even know this guy. My friend knows a guy, okay? My friend knows a guy, and this guy, from what he told me, I don't know him. From what he told me, and I believe my friend, he's a really big player type who has a lot of money, who has risky ways of how he makes that money, right? Very risky ways. He's a black guy. And he has 4 mothers of his children right now. Right? They're all black, but he lives with a white girl. From what my friend told me. And I did verify myself. Because me and my friend are really close. You could almost say my friend and I are almost the same person, right? So, because he has such a large amount of money, the women don't necessarily complain as much, right? Because he does have a good amount of money. I guess he can financially provide. And whenever he has the time, right? I guess he can be there. He's not on good relationships with all of the women. I think 2 of them he is, 2 of them he's not. So, that's that. To some extent, I'll be frank and honest here. Women are down to share a guy. Not all. But for financial opportunity, they would be. And once again, this is a natural type of thing, but the concept of it is natural, right? Which is you dating up, hypergamy, this, and that. But depending on what the situation is and just how much money he has, it can be very influentially effective whether she chooses to go ahead and step into the lineup. You've seen examples of this. I've just explained an example of this. Nick Cannon is a bit of a different example to this. But even in our own lives, we've seen guys that maybe aren't even that affluent. They just happen to be players, good-looking guys who are able to spread and sow their royal oats, right? Now, the plus side to this, or the other side to this, or the side that I tell men or the manosphere guys who are watching might be like, oh my God, Truth, you finally give us a little bit of credence. It still, unfortunately, goes against you because it says, and it still backs up the reality of that if you end up making money and becoming a winner in capitalistic societies, then you're going to win with women, right? So unfortunately, it still goes back to you needing to be and make yourself a better guy. But I will, in this instance, lend over a half a point, to some of the theories and the workings of the manosphere. Now, having said that, there are many people of all races, and there are many people on both genders, or whatever gender, sorry, that find this repulsive, okay? So it's not like every single woman out there would be willing to do this, and a lot of women don't agree with this whatsoever, right? Try to get this higher. But depending on the age, the lifestyle, the factor, there's a lot of different whatever it might be. Some women are completely okay with this. What ends up happening in Black communities is there's a disproportional amount or a disproportional level of these relationships that happen, which is why the jokes are so much more prevalent, which is why the statistics and the fatherless and everything that we've talked about for the past couple of years is so highly exacerbated at times. Now, I know that those numbers aren't necessarily indicative of the reality of people who are functioning with family type relationships in two in separate parent households. I get that there are people and that their relationships were on paper. Yes, it's a single mother, but she might have a good relationship with the child's father, or at least an amicable relationship with the child's father. I'd venture to say that based off of what I've seen on YouTube and experienced in my 31 years on this planet, I don't know what that percentage is. I don't think it's the majority. All right. So I get that. But the reason that this exists and the reason why those jokes and these types of things exist is because this has somewhat permeated our culture for little amount of time. And I'll be quite freaking honest, even in my own family, there are people and there are men in my own family who have multiple mothers of children, right? Maybe it is a concept of rebelling against the anti or the Eurocentric idea of relationships. Maybe it is. Maybe maybe in his mind he genuinely does believe that, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it all while I'm here. F the system. I'm rich. It doesn't really matter what y'all think. I'm just gonna do what I want. Well, that seems like it's kind of the mentality and the mindset of a lot of a lot of a certain type of demographic. And I'm not even just trying to and I'm not even saying, well, I'll be honest here, okay? I'll be honest. The chances of you finding this is tough. The chances of you finding a wealthy or a well-off, high earning, right? Brother that's 100% committed and that's not going to be looking the other way, sideways, whatsoever it might be. I know monogamous relationships and us, I get it. But the chances of you finding that type of relationship or a person is so ridiculously, crazy. It's that to a certain extent, once guys get to a certain level and they know they have the ability to date out, and they have the ability to date out, they have the resources to date out, especially if they don't come from, money, if they don't come from, especially if they come from, just, really downtrodden areas where there's not, really that much need for moral compass and things of that nature. And then they acquire a good amount of money, a large amount of money because they have skill and talent, right? It's almost a guarantee, whether they're an athlete, whether they're an actor. I know we're comparing celebrities here, but even on a smaller level, we're moving into now more of a non-traditional, especially for the guys who are able to provide, like really, really provide. For guys who are able to provide, we're moving into now a different phase where, because the selection is so like competitive and because the guys who win can win so much, that it's going to be a bit of a societal change on what's normal and what's acceptable. So like in this case, like people trip about it a little bit, but nobody really trips about it that much, it seems like whenever we hear that he has another baby, we're like, oh my God, he has another one, right? But hey, I mean, he can take care of it though. It's just crazy, but hey, he can take care of it though. We as people do think about the family concept, and I'm going to get to some comments right here because some of the comments are great comments. So let me stop it here and get to some of these comments right quick on the channel that I saw. The fact that Nick Cannon is doing this on purpose, knowing that it's going to be impossible for him to be in all these kids' lives, is disgusting. When I heard him say that his goal is to have at least 20, I was done. Also, what is wrong with these women? An 18-year child support bag really worth it? Nick Cannon is creating multiple broken homes, and it will affect the children as they're older. I think it's ridiculous that Bree is making it sound like it's not a big deal. Bree is the person in this video right now. Somebody said they're all in denial. I don't think Mariah wants any part of this. And then another comment, I don't know if I read this one, but it says nothing says responsible like leaving multiple women as single mothers while you're battling a chronic deadly disease, which he will inevitably pass on to one of them. And nothing says a good person like making 3 babies less than a year after losing one of them and then completely abandoning the mother of the child once the baby passed. And these women are foolish, beyond foolish. And when her kids cry for their fathers in a few years, she will have to wipe the tears away with the money they thought, Jesus, this is like poetic, with the money they thought would replace a father figure. We're going to go ahead and give that a like. Oh, it's a screenshot. I can't even like it. What do you think about that? I didn't know Nick was trying to go for 20. That's pretty crazy, actually. That's sad, to be honest with you. But more often than not, all right, more often than not, on both sides, I'll be honest, and ladies, I just simply asked to be honest, right? I got some gushers right here. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Would y'all date a guy who already has children? I mean, I guess most of y'all already kind of have to. I mean, at our age, right? We kind of have to, right? Is it the norm for? Is it pretty much the norm that when we date after 30, that you're gonna be dating somebody that has children? Sorry, I know this is really nasty to hear. Hold on. I mean, maybe I don't know. This is such an interesting thing because Nick Cannon is definitely degenerate. Don't get me wrong. That's straight degeneracy. But which side does it fall more on? If I don't know, it's a good question. You know, if a woman doesn't have a problem with you already having a few different mothers of children and families, and she's willing to kind of, because you're doing okay enough. Say you're working at FedEx. There's a video of the FedEx drivers. They're making $45 an hour now, $50 an hour if they've been there for 4 years, 5 years. They're doing pretty well for themselves. I think 50 an hour, you could probably at least keep, well, maybe not 3 households. You could probably do 2 households at 50 an hour, right? 50 an hour. If a guy said that he's gonna love you, he has another household, right? And he takes care of them. But if a guy said he's gonna love you and keep you and put you up in a house or put you up in a condo and pay the bills and do everything like that, would you date him before you dated the guy that didn't have as much money but didn't have another family as well? Or would you go for that guy? So you have a guy that's going to pay all your bills and do everything for you. I'm interested. Right? The other guy you might have to go more 50-50 with. Which guy do you choose? Obviously, if he's paying all the bills and everything like that, he's going to want to have access whenever it might be. And maybe he wants to eventually have another family as well, if he's got the money to do it. These aren't uncommon things, y'all. I've spoken to people and I've given consultations on my channel to women who are literally doing this very same thing. I've given consultations to women who play side chick roles for the guy who's already married right now, who have all of their bills paid by this guy. But the women now are starting to get into their feelings and they want things to change. I've given consultations. I've talked to women. I kid you not, right hand to the man, to Jesus Christ. I've talked and had these conversations with women. But the guy was paying all the bills. So she was comfortable doing that. You can call me a liar if you want to. I've had the conversation. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that one. And y'all, I've had multiple of these conversations with women of this same type of that are in this position, multiple, right? And I haven't said anything about it until right now, but I think that a lot of the times this type of instance happens so naturally because of the way that our community is set, because of the way that economics in 2022, because of the way, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying this is a straight just our issue type of deal, but I'm saying that once again, it is exacerbated. We'll see, by the fact that we don't have any, businesses. We don't have many more black women have than, are starting than the guys, whatever it might be. It seems like the ones who end up working up money, assets, either leave the community. And yes, we know about that. We've talked about that. Plenty of content creators have talked about the guys who end up getting money, moving out of leaving the predominantly black areas, moving to the white areas, whatever it might be. We talked about black guys getting money, but everybody's talked about black guys getting money and then dating out, whatever it might be, dating out. We get that, right? For sure, we get that. But it seems, dang, the laptop fans are loud. But it seems that once again, all of those different types of issues have exacerbated in some areas, right? The fact that when there is guys that make money in the black community and date, do, and are rewarded with access. We'll say that, which is part of the reason that passport bros, right? Passport bros exist, because the guys that don't have a lot of money can save up their $1,500 or $2,000 and head down there. So I say it all the time: winners win, and they do. They do, ladies and gentlemen. You make no mistake about it. They do. The interesting part about it is it is a part of a natural, right? It is a part of a natural progression. Hypergamy is natural, and there's nothing wrong with hypergamy. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is when hypergamy starts to get bastardized. when the concept of what started off as one thing starts to shift and change just a little bit. And we've spoken about how maybe, you know, the divestment shifted and changed a little bit, how maybe you know, how a lot of these different online movements have changed and shifted as time has gone on. We've talked about that. So I think that, and I can confidently say that some of that has happened here as well in the community. It has, y'all. It has. And some of us have been guilty of it. Maybe we can't accept it. Maybe we can admit it. Maybe you can. I don't know. I don't know. In Cannon's case, this is what happens when it gets to the most extreme, when you get the most money, when you get the most publicity, right? When you're the playboy player type in the hood area, yada, 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 but then you get the $50 million behind it. All you're seeing is the same type of mindset from a lot of guys that are in the hood right now, who don't have any concept of family, who don't have any concept of fatherhood, who don't have any concept of what it is to truly raise the next generation or to truly raise a legacy. He speaks about legacy a lot, but he doesn't understand his legacy is being tarnished one child at a time, as is theirs to some extent, unfortunately. But there are a decent amount of relationships that mirror Nick Cannon's. Some of them might be watching, some of them aren't watching. Some of you might have friends out in the real life that you can attest to being true. Right? Either way, it's a sad comparison when we look at the two largest families in the nation right now, the Cannons and the Duggars. I'm sure Nick has more than the media is reporting at this point. Listen, it's 10:44. How long have I been talking? I think I've been talking for probably about an hour now. I want to do this special live stream. You know, I had so many okay, let's see. I had so many articles here. Jeez. I didn't talk about a single one. Once again, if you're just now joining us, this is the Duggars, the largest family that was televised. 19 under one roof. Jim, Bob, Michelle, and their 19 kids. Jim Bob. Jim, Bob, Michelle, and their 19 kids. All right. Let me see. Hold on. Let me cancel out some tabs. Yo, I had so many tabs open during this live stream. My internet's probably like, nigga, what in the hell are you doing to us? G Friend says, oh snap, THT, you said too much. The Passport Bro mob are coming for you. Listen, the Passport Bro mob, listen, it's true. I'll be honest. It is. I'm not saying I don't get why they do it. I'm just saying that the answer that they're providing is still not the solution to their problems. You know, G France, I appreciate that comment. You can't just run away. You can't just run away. Ebony Locke says there's plenty of broke bum guys who have lots of baby mamas. Ebony Locke, you're right. And I think in that case, you're not lying, because I just watched a video today of a probation. I'm gonna tell you all my second channel I got coming up here in a little bit. It's really cool. But there are lots of guys who are broke bum guys, and I wonder, how the hell do you have a child A? And they're not even the most good-looking guys. I'll be completely frank and honest with you. How do you have a child A? But then how do you have multiple children by multiple women? Like, what's the secret, bro? I do see that so often. It's less and less, but it's still out there. Absolutely. Right. Jim Bob for shows in the building. Lala said not with their headache. Diana Princess, THT, don't encourage them. LOL. Money goes fast. The more kids you have depends on where you live. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely, Diana. You're absolutely right. No, I'm not encouraging them, Diana. I'm telling them don't. Well, excuse my French. I think women are more flexible than men because men will set strict boundaries about no kids and will be 40 years old. LOL. Women got to have the same confidence. So women are more willing to kind of deal with the guy that has children because the guys have strict boundaries about no kids. Okay. But if guys didn't have strict boundaries about no kids, then they would have no problem dating a woman with, multiple fathers of children, I guess is what you're trying to say. So, okay. Batty Gal says, I don't have no kids and I wouldn't date a guy with them. And if he does, it can only be one kid, LOL. Okay, Batty Gal. That sounds good. Batty Gal's down to do it as long as there's just one kid. I like that. Thank you, Batty Gal. Lala says it's a high possibility that she would date a guy, I believe. THT ASMR, seeking him daily, says. I'm sorry. Batty Gal says not with that many kids. The gushers are hitting, y'all. I'm telling you. The gushers are hitting. Ebony Locke says there's a mother I know who has 9 kids by 7 different dads. Like what? Yeah, y'all, we all know somebody. It's in my own family. I'm not going to say who it is, but it's in my own family. And it's like, dang, what's going on? But I'm not going to lie. The women, and in this case, like the women are kind of complacent in it too, man. It's just all bad. I don't even know. I look at it and I'm like, dang, dude, what's going on? What's going on? We've all seen it. We all know, we joke about it, y'all. It is what it is. Listen, y'all, make sure you like the video, like the stream. I'm going to head on out. This is going to be it. I want to thank all of you for being here today. Thank you so much. Like the stream. We're going to come back tomorrow with another live stream. We have more live stream content. I'm kicking up the content, ranking up the content. We'll be back with probably the college live stream tomorrow. But since Nick Cannon was in the news today, we had to talk about Nick Cannon. Okay. Be nice to each other. Make sure you think about getting a Second Amendment firearm legally. I have a range video I was supposed to do, but I didn't get good footage because I forgot my tripod. So I'm gonna do a range footage for y'all, range vlog. Haven't done a vlog in a long time. Do something fun for yourself tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. What is right now? It is Thursday, 10:50. Good night wishes. I will see you in the very near future. I love you very much. Good night, everybody.
Eyes on me on the track.